Bienvenidos, en el video de hoy vamos a ver la octava parte del caso de TikTok Alex Calvo is Haunted. Si no han visto las primeras partes les voy a dejar los links en la descripción para que vayan a verlas antes de ver este video. En el video anterior nos quedamos en que encontró el cofre de su bisabuelo que tenía cosas muy interesantes, así que vamos a ver qué sigue. En los siguientes TikToks que subió el 1 de noviembre habla de unos papeles que encontró en el baúl. Dice que estos papeles pertenecían a Harold, el abuelo de su bisabuelo Leo, que al parecer no era solamente lo que llamaríamos un soldado católico. En estos papeles dice que trabajó con una persona llamada Bridget, que ya fue mencionada anteriormente, y esta persona estuvo en prisión por brujería y Harold la sacó. También hay unas notas de una persona que trabajaba con Harold llamada hermana Helena, que era como su asistente o secretaria. También había una nota de reporte de misión reportada por el oficial Harold Aldrey y otra de reporte de exorcismo reportada por el padre Gregory Schneider sobre Melinda Kruger. Entonces Alex dice que Melinda fue poseída después de encontrarse con una bruja muy mala, no podían sacar el demonio que la poseyó, le pidieron ayuda al padre Gregory, pero Harold no creía que pudiera ayudarle, así que sacó de prisión a la bruja Bridget y finalmente le hicieron un exorcismo exitoso. En el siguiente TikTok que subió el 3 de noviembre nos enseña una caja que encontró también en el baúl con unas notas que le dieron como una pista a Alex de lo que podía encontrar dentro. Dentro de esta caja estaba envuelta en una tela la espada Hamza, que al parecer cuando nada de lo del baúl había funcionado, esta espada era la última opción y funcionaba casi siempre. Y en las notas dice que esta espada tiene como propiedades mágicas. En el siguiente TikTok que subió el 4 de noviembre dice que le han preguntado mucho sobre la actividad paranormal en la casa. Dice que había mencionado que casi no pasaba nada, eran muy poquitas cosas como muy sutiles y que además eran cosas que no había podido captar, entonces al no tener pruebas prefería no mencionarlas en su TikTok, y que incluso desde que encontró el baúl ha bajado aún más la actividad paranormal en la casa. Y pues dice que él cree que es porque finalmente hizo lo que los fantasmas querían que hiciera, que era encontrar ese baúl, así que todo ha estado muy tranquilo. En el siguiente TikTok que subió el 5 de noviembre nos enseña un poquito más de lo que encontró en el baúl.
I don't know, this just looks very mundane, so I didn't really talk about it. There's a picture in here of somebody. I don't know if this... Oh, the glass is broken. I don't know if that's Harold. Now, there is also this thing, which obviously looks like... I don't know. It's not really bloody, but it's weird that it looks this way, and it's in here. And then there's this compass that does not work anymore. So I came into this little closet in the hall for more blankets. You know, it's getting cold now, and the frog is back. I can't honestly remember if I have looked in here for her before, but there she is. Some of you have mentioned how it looked like her outfit was changing, so I took a closer look, and it's actually pretty strange. It looks like at some point she was messed up a bit somehow, torn up. This part here isn't even actually connected. I'm going to look into her a little bit more because some have mentioned maybe there's something inside of her. I don't want to damage her too much, but, you know, we'll see what we can find out about our frogette.
En el siguiente TikTok que subió el 9 de noviembre nos enseña un poquito más sobre las notas que encontró en el baúl.
Alright, so this says, "Poor Harold still wakes shouting many nights, screaming for the children to get behind him, telling them to stay put, panicking when they do not all listen. He has told me little of that night, but I have read the reports and pieced much together. It was the last time he could successfully call on the Lord's power. It failed him. The holy essence did little against what he referred to as golems of flesh and iron, like rotted corpses affixed with rusted mechanical apparati. Of the 7 children he was sent to retrieve, 4 were sadly lost, though not sacrificed. The 3 children and he alone walked away from this mission. They had been advised that little serious resistance would be met, but the priests could not detect these man-made monsters. This was perhaps their most significant failing of him, though he seems to hold more personal the business they forced in Africa."
En el siguiente TikTok que subió el 12 de noviembre nos cuenta que le volvió a hablar la persona interesada en las cosas que están en su casa.
Asked their permission to record the call, and pretty unsurprisingly they said no. Again, I could not get a name of who they were, but there was kind of like they said, you know, we're probably who you think we are. They offered me an incredible amount of money for the trunk as a whole. I told them I was not interested. They were going well into six figures for the little stone cross in that vampire hunting kit alone. I am basically certain at this point that this was Roland's cross, whatever. And like Megan said, a cross was interfering with her abilities as a medium. And she said it probably wouldn't allow any kind of demonic or evil entity anywhere near the house. Also, the books, they said they were very interested. They were almost offering as high they said, the entire collection of books that were within the trunk. They even told me that I could keep the journals and the papers. Still, I told them I was not interested. Before the call ended, I asked them really point blankly, you know, are you guys something that I need to worry about? Because, like, I'm not thinking about selling. Or this is something that, how bad do you guys want this stuff? And really, what this guy told me, and you know, honestly, I don't know why, but I kind of believed him. Is he said that, you know, I don't know what you think, but we're really not the bad guys. That they respected my family, the history of my family, and that they were given those things for a reason, and that they just thought that maybe they could be put to better use than sitting in the trunk in my house, but still not gonna sell anything for now.
El siguiente TikTok lo subió el 20 de noviembre y al parecer es un video en el que se alcanza a ver a Frogette moverse sola.
Okay, so Salo fixed Frogette, and I'm just gonna make a cute little video showing her off because I know you guys really like her.
Alright, so what I did to fix it was I sewed along the shirt over here, which was ripped, and the apron too, like over here. And for her little straps that hold it, I put little pins along the bottom of it so it could hold it better.
Hanging out in the family room with the four girls. It's four now. We have Salo, Melissa, Summer, and of course Frogette. Salo did a really great job fixing her up, so we're very proud of her. Okay, so we got all the girls together again. Very good job, Salo.
El siguiente TikTok lo subió el 23 de noviembre y es sobre otra llamada.
Hello, Alex. Okay, listen. I know that in the state of Florida, I need your consent to record and to post this call, but if you do not give me that consent right now, I'm just going to hang up and I'm not going to even listen to an offer. All right, you can record. Okay, I just want to know who you represent. Like, who is it that wants to buy these things from me and is offering so much money? I'm sorry, I can't say. Unfortunately, their anonymity is not open for discussion. Not my call, as I have said. Okay, it makes me incredibly suspicious that you won't tell me who you are or, like, even give me a number to reach you. And I don't think that I should consider anything. I won't consider anything unless you just give me some kind of information. I mean, are you with the Sons of Man? As I have said already, I can't say anything regarding my employer's identity, Mr. Alex. And if that's a deal breaker, if it means I won't even hear your offer? Well, my superiors will be very unhappy with me, and I'd probably call you and try again in a couple of months. Okay, look, man, I do appreciate that you haven't been, like, openly intimidating, but you need to understand how threatening all this is in and of itself. I don't know who you are. You're clearly stalking my social media. Somehow you got my phone number. This all feels really, really wrong to me. I wish that things could be quite different, but I can't shock you too much, given the nature of these things, that those around it are very secretive. Look, I don't want to discuss anything more, but I want to make sure that you guys know that my house is well monitored and protected, that no one will be able to get in here without my knowing about it, and if they try, they're going to have a very, very bad time. Look, Mr. Alex, what you said in your video was right. If we were the type of people that just did whatever we wanted to, whomever we wanted to, we would have done those things. And nobody here wants to piss off Harold Oakley's ghost and then snatch a trunk full of his personal possessions. I said more than I should
En el siguiente TikTok que subió el 1 de diciembre habla sobre Harold y su trabajo con las sirenas.
Here he's talking about a time when he was sent to Greece, somewhere along the Aegean. There was some kind of sea creature that was causing a lot of harm, and apparently mermaids were involved, sirens as they were referred to. This is his sketch of one. You know, he talks about going into the water to face off against this creature, and with the full power of the paladin, he claims to have actually parted the water. So this is him standing between the two walls of water that formed. Now he says that as he was battling this thing, floating here in the water wall, whatever you want to call it, were sirens, including what he refers to as the Siren Queen. It sounds like that's just basically what they called the whatever one that was in charge, mermaid that was in charge. And it's pretty interesting. He says that after he killed this thing, basically he passed out, the water flushed in around him and like crushed, you know, he would have been dead. And he says that the mermaids dragged him back to shore. He woke up them playing in the water on the beach. They tried to get him to come in and play too. He wouldn't do it. I guess they got unhappy and he just kind of took off.
El siguiente TikTok lo subió el 2 de diciembre y nos enseña que se cayó una repisa de su casa y que eso le hizo encontrar algo muy interesante.
Okay, so this big ass shelf just fell. It was up here, just fell on its own. And as you can see, it caused a huge mess, but it made me think to look back behind this dresser thing, which I had not done before. And I found this. Okay, here it is. He has his name here. It says Leo F12. I assume that means file 12, and it says SW. This is the first note. He talks about some of the forms that it's taken. He says wolf, man, eagle, gator, panther, unknown. There's other papers in here talking about things, you know, people describing their sightings, all kinds of stuff. His notes, his ideas. He even goes into where this stuff was located, where they were dealing with it, but I'm not going to give that out publicly at the moment.
En el siguiente TikTok que subió el 3 de diciembre nos habla un poquito más sobre la película Haxan y su relación con la historia de Bridget.
So Haxan witchcraft through the ages, you know, it does include a lot of really satanic, demonic imagery and themes, but really the story, what it is trying to portray and teach is that the people who were persecuted in these witch trials, the vast majority, if not all of them, were innocent, or even more than that, helpful medicine women, maybe practitioners of, you know, some kind of good magic, or they just, maybe some of them had mental illness, or, you know, we talk about things like mold from bread. But the point being that these are misunderstood, persecuted people, mostly women, and that the church was mistaken in their persecution of them. Going into a lot of those specifics really goes right back to what I have about Bridget with Harold in the journal.
En los siguientes TikToks que subió el 4 de diciembre podemos ver que Megan, la medium, volvió a visitarlo.
So this might be what people are most excited for. Yeah. I think you know who this is.
Frogette.
That is Frogette. You know, some of my followers still think that she is a demon. I do not. She was not here last time you were here. She was hidden. So why don't you go ahead and take her? See if you can get a reading on her.
Get her over here, saddle.
Okay.
So she's not a demon. When she was alive, her name was Lynette, and she was from around the 1850s, 1860s. Harold was supposed to destroy her, but he secretly kept her, and she's been in your family for over like 150 years. She considers herself a member of your family. She actually really appreciated when Sallow patched her up recently. Her previous little doll body deteriorated due to age. And so since they were already calling her Frogette, they just stuck her in another little doll, another little frog doll body. But, you know, she's just a sweet little girl.
Okay, so I want to answer a question, a debate between me and Salo. She thinks that she was not supposed to have another eye, that the hat is covering it. I think she is supposed to have another eye that's missing. What's the story?
Yeah. She has another eye. Mm-hmm. It's somewhere in the house, but I'm not sure where.
Okay. One last thing about her. This is my curiosity. Does she actually like walk around the house like Chucky or something, or is like there's some other way that she's getting around?
No, she doesn't walk around the house. She can move a little bit. She'll be in like one place and then suddenly she'll be in another. I don't really want to say it, but it's almost like she's teleporting.
Okay. Another thing a lot of my followers are really curious about is that platform in the backyard. They're wondering if maybe you could find out what it was for.
They're telling me that it was part of like an initial agreement to set up like a platform-like structure by the tree. The fair folk use it for something, but they're not sure what.
Okay. So the number one thing people on my channel ask about is this situation with this girl Jessica. I know you said you watched the video, so you know a little bit. My mother's friend. Is there anything, you know, from how you can read the house now, maybe my grandmother, that could give us some information about that?
You know, as you know, your mom and Jessica were really close. But your grandmother also was very close with Jessica. She thought of her as like another daughter. What I'm getting is that Jessica was taken by some just evil, bad people. People that dabbled in black magic. They can call down upon other people like negative energy and bad entities, and whatever they did, Jessica is gone. You know, she's dead. And your grandmother knew that her father had information on, you know, these people, but they could hurt you without even being in the same room that you're in. It's very, very dangerous to look into these people. And to protect her children and her grandchildren, your grandmother just kind of shut it down and didn't let them look into it at all. And it was one of the hardest decisions that she ever made, but it was the only way to protect her family.
So is my grandmother like here right now telling you all this?
There's times where it definitely works like that. Right now it's more like I'm feeling her feelings and like kind of thinking her thoughts.
Does she know, or do you know if these people are still around? Is this like, is this something that I maybe shouldn't even be looking into?
She knows what I've already told you. I don't know anything about these people, and what I'm getting is that I would just let it be.
All right, so you have already made a connection with my grandmother. You also mentioned that you can sometimes communicate just talking with the spirits. I'm really curious about Harold. Is there any way you could try to do either of those things with him?
When spirits have been dead longer than they've been alive, it's already strange. But there's just something else, something that's unique about him. It feels powerful, and kind of intimidating. I'm actually a little apprehensive to connect with him. But I am getting that he's like the guardian of your family, which is strange because in life he didn't really have much of a family. I think what you said in your video was true. he didn't know his son in life.
Now, this might be a little bit more difficult on Harold, so on you as well. But I'm curious about when he lost the paladin abilities, when those children were lost. Is there anything you can tell me about that?
Well, you already know the story. When he lost those children, when the children died, he lost his faith, and without his pure faith, he couldn't access his paladin abilities.
Did he ever get them back? Was that like for the rest of his life he couldn't do it?
I don't really have a clear answer on that.
Can you tell me anything about what happened with him and the Sons of Man in Africa?
He was sent into Catholic missions to find and train potential paladins, and then they were sent on super missions. He didn't know about that until, after the fact, but that was the first, kind of major blow to his faith.
Ok, creo que esta historia está cada vez más interesante, no sé ustedes qué opinen, pero díganme en los comentarios. Y ya eso es todo por este video. Si les gustó no olviden darle like, suscribirse, activar la campanita. También pueden seguirme en mis redes sociales y si quieren nos vemos en Twitch. Gracias por el video, les mando un beso enorme y nos vemos en el próximo. Bye.